And I think for the first time ever, we finally got
And Corey
silence
walks
out of
in
the
with
team.
the most random.
Okay, so we got the mad scientist, the biological weapons of mass destruction. So these types of things are what would be an example of biological event?
Smallpox.
Oh, because you saw the smallpox. Let's
Yeah.
choose something other than
How about
smallpox.
the measles?
Oh, the measles is a good one. If somebody had happened to release a measles out into the public, do you think that's what's going on?
That's probably it.
That's probably what
They
happened.
released it in the non-vax areas.
Definitely in just the non-vaccinated people,
Yes.
right? That's smart. That's smart. But that is absolutely that type of a release. So it's when you take the biological thing, the smallpox, the disease that can be spread from person to person, and you release it out into the public. Huh?
Ebola.
Ooh, Ebola. Yeah. I mean, basically the norovirus. You
The
come up
flu,
here,
yeah.
You drop a little norovirus in Dustin's
Is
thing.
anthrax biology?
You take a step back, and what happens? We gave Dustin the norovirus.
And
On
then he
purpose.
just coughs
And he
on
started coughs all
everyone.
over the place.
And how long is it going to take for everybody in this room to get it?
Everybody got it all.
Pretty much 10 seconds. You guys all already have it. So it's that
You're
kind of-
welcome.
that kind of rapid response. Okay. But the idea with the biological stuff is, what are they going for? Are they just going for illness here, or what are they trying to do?
Multiple casualties.
Go back to the resources, right? So they're trying to affect as many people, take as many of the resources up, take all of the treatment, all the vaccines, because what happens when they take once they have used all that stuff up?
Now there's none, and they can create more problems.
And then
Spreads
what happens
fast.
with the more
Spreads
problems?
faster.
And what happens when there aren't vaccines and there aren't treatments for something?
It
What
just
happens with the public?
exponentially gets bad. Public goes crazy, chaos.
So here's that chaos again, right? That random chaos that causes more chaos on more chaos on more chaos. So what do people start doing when chaos starts happening in a major event like this?
They freak out.
Okay, so like, what's that?
Go to Walmart and buy everything.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, that's what I was going for. Like, you end up with looting, you end up with everything is sold out, all the water is sold out. Like, you send out one little text up in the Salem area that says water contaminated, and what happens? You go to the store, 5 minutes later, every bit of water is gone off of every shelf, right? So it's that type of a thing that when you have these types of events, it's not just isolated to the illness or the action itself, but it's the global approach to the entire reaction to it. Okay? So what is our job in this?
Not get sick.
Okay, good. But like, what like we are the pre-hospital setting.
Brain.
Identify and notify hospitals.
Okay, how are you gonna identify something?
Signs and symptoms.
Yeah, be aware of.
And then for a big population, I mean, I guess it could be the
Recognition.
norovirus going through a community home.
There you go.
Just the seventh time we went to the same nursing home for the.
So are
same
these
problem.
acute incidents usually?
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes and
acute
no.
onset incidents.
Yes.
No.
Not usually.
No.
So usually these are a little bit longer because you don't get an instantaneous exposure from Noah to Dustin, right? Like the symptoms don't jump straight from you to you and you instantly have it, right? So usually you have incubation periods depending on what the chemical is being used, right? What biological event that is taking place, right? So like with anthrax, what's anthrax incubation period?
Isn't anthrax a chemical?
It is, but I'm just talking like incubation period time stuff. It can be anywhere from 2 to 60 days. Okay? So you have these large amounts of incubation periods where like it makes it very hard to track events and say, hey, you are tied to you. Right?
So then you go to the motor center, then you go to the airport, and then you go to
Exactly.
this.
So that's where that's why with this whole measles thing, it took a long time for them to figure out where they start to create exposure locations, right? You guys also saw it probably took a month and a half before they started creating, hey, these were the exposure locations. If you were here, if you're unvaccinated, this is probably what's going to happen. And then you had the person that wasn't presenting with signs and symptoms. When they get on the airplane to go to Hawaii, they end up in Hawaii with signs and symptoms now. So now you have everybody on the plane that's exposed to it, everybody at the airport that's exposed to it, and what do people at airports do?
Travel.
Boom, right? So that's how, but it's not an instantaneous thing. You have that incubation period that's going to take time, and it's going to slowly spread out. The nice thing with like the norovirus stuff is like, hey, we went over to Sheldon Park yesterday. Yeah, had somebody look just like the norovirus. All right, cool. What's the next shift gonna do? Oh, hey, guess what? We went to the norovirus. We went to Sheldon Park, had norovirus. Huh. C shift comes in. Oh, hey, guess what? Yeah, we went to norovirus. And then A shift comes back again and be like, oh yeah, we went there. It's like, oh, you did? Well, did B shift go? Oh yeah, they went there too. It's like, oh, toot, 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 toot. Oh, hey, you're going to Sheldon Park for nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. It's like, okay. So now that's 4 days worth of visitors that have come and gone, in and out of the care home. People have gone to the hospital, transported, so they've exposed everybody there. So you see how it kind of takes time. It takes time to build and just keep. It's a care home.
I was like, why is these?
Oh,
why
at the
is
park?
it? Yeah, I was like, why?
Everybody's looking.
You know what? I tell you
They just
what.
go every day, I guess, to the park.
Everybody goes to the park. They comes there. Yeah,
Just as a side note, anthrax is a bacteria with a vaccine.
with a vaccine. Oh, there you go.
Anthrax has a vaccine?
Yeah,
Now it does, yeah.
comes in multiple shots.
How long has that vaccine been?
At least 15 years.
Since those exposures, since they had the letters probably. Yeah, they felt right.
I got vaccinated against it.
All right, so smallpox, since you bring up the smallpox, most deadly germ in history of the human body.
No, that's not bad.
Yeah? It's bad, right? Who here's had smallpox? Why did you almost raise your hand?
I was adjusting myself.
Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, I've had it. Yeah. So the idea is that the last natural case in the world was in 1977, and it was apparently eradicated in 1980. Oh, man, I was 1 year old then. So, but if you take a look at this very bottom thing, only 10% of the Soviet storage is accounted for.
Of smallpox?
Yeah.
Where's
So 2 live cultures were kept for research. Because I mean, you watch the movies, and what does everything happen in the movies? What do people go for?
Research.
They try and break in, and they try and steal the big deadly stuff, right? So there's 90% of Russia's storage. We have no idea where it's at. So is that a potential? Because we already tracked everything else in Russia in the rest of this, right? So you have that potential of something that we haven't seen, something that has been altered, some other sort of event that we don't even know about yet, because people are able to build and grow things. Yes.
We have the ability of knowing the 100%, like that there was 100%, and that there's 10% that we have accounted for.
I would assume so.
It's very difficult, to be honest.
Yeah. That there's
This is the 100%.
This is 100% of the total amount.
Well, we knew how much we kept, and we knew how much the Soviets kept for research. Of the amount that the Soviets kept, they could only account for 10% of that.
To your face, is that?
To our face, yeah, they could be.
Yeah, they
know exactly
probably know
where
exactly where it's at.
Is that where it originated?
No.
Those are just the 2 powers that were able to keep those live cultures for research. Everything else was eradicated.
Yeah, but you seen World War Z?
There's a.
Fast zombies?
Fast zombies?
Yeah,
Fast.
they're hella
Fast.
fast.
Is there
They
vaccines
run.
for
Isn't
smallpox?
that in Iron Legend?
Is there a vaccine?
Yeah, there is,
I
right?
was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it was eradicated.
Okay,
Yeah.
so does everyone still get it?
No.
No?
Because it's been eradicated.
Iron Legend.
It's gone.
So why don't they give it to people just?
Because it's gone. Well, why would you need a vaccine for something that is eradicated?
But you see the problem, right?
You probably got it though, right? The smallpox vaccine?
Like, when's that be for preventative?
I got it when I was a
measures?
kid.
Just got back.
Do you have the scar?
Your
I got
age group is about the last.
I
group
got
that got it.
vaccinated. in
Your
school,
old
like, went to
group
elementary
of
school to South America,
people
so they-
close
You
to
didn't
your
get it?
age. No. Thanks, B. You know,
Why did you?
hey, did you say you were first in line?
Yeah.
Good, because it just
Looking
got
forward to it.
We
Super
went-
exciting.
No, she's younger than me. Give me a break.
39, that's old.
No.
Swig, where are you at?
When did they stop vaccinating?
50,
When did they stop vaccinating for it?
Early 60s.
No, because I got it, and I was 74 or 73. got and I know I got it.
What are we
We're
talking
talking smallpox.
For what?
We're still on your vaccine stuff. The whole question.
Yeah, I mean.
But do you think they vaccinate one of the measles?
They do not vaccinate.
So like, what if one got out or whatnot?
Well, then they would probably have to.
Can be administered up to 4 days after exposure?
So they get it.
Interesting.
Passing it out. We did that one,
Mortality rate 35%. Is that a high mortality rate for something, for a disease?
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty solid. Is that broken up by adults and kids or?
It's broken up into a general population.
Okay.
Adults, kids, everybody. 35%. Okay? Person-to-person spread, inhalation. So now, right now, you guys are so close, because you guys like to sit so close. And there goes Dustin coughing again, okay? Presentation.
sorry.
That's what it looks like. So if you ever go on a call and you see this, you'll be like, I
Need to wear more masks.
have patient 0 right now. Patient 0 right here. You need to wear a mask, right? Is it
I'm
too
putting
late?
my SCBA on it.
You're gonna wear an SCBA, you're gonna wear your SCBA on every call?
Now I am.
No, it's
Yeah,
down.
Noah's just gonna come in with it on.
Okay, so you present, somebody presents looking like this, what are you gonna do?
Call
CDC,
hazmat?
hazmat, FBI, ATF.
ATF.
Your list is getting longer and longer.
Everyone.
Alright, so, situation awareness as you walk through, right? So you're looking at it like are you gonna see this from me to Chandler as you're walking up?
Yep. Really good chance.
You do one of these? Slip your resignation papers there and be like, hey, I'm out. So what do? Like, you show up and Chandler looks like that.
Get on your end,
Let's change it. Dustin has it, because Dustin has all kinds of fun stuff he's spreading right now.
No.
Yeah,
Do
call.
we need to talk to Dustin, or are we just terrified because he looks like this?
Yeah, we can talk to him from there.
Through the window.
If you've been vaccinated
Alright.
for it, then it's probably fine.
So what do you want to ask Dustin?
Is that
What's
something
going
that's
on?
not normal for you?
Do you normally have
How
smell?
long is
A little bit about it.
All right, so on a serious note, like, you have to get back into, like,
Have you been
just because this person
vaccinated
looks,
for smallpox?
don't just jump right to the smallpox stuff, like, have the smallpox in the back of your head, but you still have to, hey, Dustin, you're still a human being and you're still a patient.
Oh, shucks.
I'm still gonna ask you, oh, he called because he has chest pain and shortness of breath. But what did you guys latch on to?
Smallpox.
Smallpox, because we were talking about smallpox, right? So, is smallpox something that you're considering now? You're like, oh yeah, absolutely. Are you gonna get in there and like rub elbows with him? Maybe not. Are you gonna use all your PPE not an SCBA, but are you gonna use your N95s and stuff like that? Put a mask on him, put a mask on you, proper PPE, you're not gonna touch him, because how's this spread?
Inhalation.
Alright, so what's the N95 do?
Helps prevent inhalation.
Okay? So that's why we have our PPE available to us, okay? Are you gonna still make all those contacts? So yes, he's got chest pain, he has shortness of breath, we're gonna do full workup, full cardiac assessment, full respiratory assessment, do all that stuff, do the 12 lead, everything, he's got it all over his body. Okay, does this person need to go to the hospital? He's got a major ST elevation, MI going.
Yeah, but you need to call the hospital and let them know of other signs and symptoms you have.
Okay, okay, so are you gonna call us on the radio, you can call on the phone?
Probably not.
And call us on the phone.
All right, go ahead, Mark, give me a ring,
Do you need your
give
card?
me a jingle.
Yeah, using your face card.
So,
Oh, what's your card?
our here
It's a
report.
review report.
Oh, just a hero report, you guys aren't very good at those either?
Oh, it's easy, just transfer from my card.
Yeah.
Reading glasses.
So I'm gonna call and
You had your chance.
I did.
call with my, start out with what I'm concerned about.
Okay.
I have a patient,
Are we on the phone or are we on the radio?
we're on the phone.
Phone. Housekeeping!
So I've got a patient with,
Yes, who is this?
this is Mark with
Hi, Mark.
Lane Community College.
Yes.
I have a patient.
Do you need a doctor or
I
a
need-
charge nurse or who do you need? What do you?
I called the doctor phone.
Oh, okay. Well, let me hold on. I gotta get one out of the room. Stand by one. I'll put you on hold. Yeah, that's hi. This is Dr. Blah.
Hey, doctor, this is Mark with Lane Community College.
Yeah, hi, Mark. What can I do for you?
I'm calling with a patient with chest pain, ST elevation, but is also presenting with signs of smallpox.
Let's back up a little bit. Yeah, go ahead, Mark. What can I do for you? Hello?
Hey, this is Mark with
Yes.
Lane Community College.
Yes, Mark.
So I have a patient with an interesting presentation.
Oh, an interesting one. I love these kinds of cases.
Great. I have a patient that is presenting with ST elevation, but they also have signs and symptoms consistent with smallpox.
Do you even know what smallpox signs and symptoms are?
Yes, because I'm in my classroom staring at the signs and symptoms on the slide from smallpox. They have blistering skin, their eyes are blistered shut.
You know that's called chickenpox, right?
Oh, these don't look like chickenpox.
Do you know the difference between chickenpox and smallpox?
Yes, because I'm staring at a smallpox slide.
And the same exact color
It's,
complexion.
it's,
So let's talk about this ST elevation. What leads are these ST elevation in? Is this a cath alert? Is that why you're calling me? I'm really confused right now.
right, so am I. That's why I'm calling you.
Okay, so what do you need? So what do you need from me?
I need you to advise me on procedures for possible smallpox patient and control of this patient. But I also have the ST elevation. So I need to do a STEMI alert with a patient that needs some kind of contamination control or isolation control.
Yeah, Mark, are you still there?
Yeah.
Hello?
Oh, yeah.
Hello? 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 Are you there? Hello? No? No? Okay. All right, so all kinds of interesting stuff that you're gonna want to talk about, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what to do.
No.
You don't know, right? So
That's why I
like,
called for help.
yeah, so I'll be like, so I would start this off with like, hey, doc, this is Kris, I'm back too. So, all right, I got two things going on. First thing, I got a cath alert coming in. This person has major ST elevation and 2-3 AVF. I got this, got chest pain, got this, I got some name, date of birth for you whenever you're ready. Okay, yep, you got that information? Okay. Here's the curveball I'm gonna throw at you now. So, they are presenting, I mean, I don't want to say it out loud kind of thing, but they got bumps all over their body, and I got this picture that I'm comparing on Google, and it looks like it's a smallpox kind of thing, but I don't know because smallpox is supposed to be gone, so like I don't even know what to do right now. What do you think? They'll be like, yeah, smallpox, there's no such thing, blah, 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 it's dead to the world, yeah, it's nothing. And then they show up and they're like, oh, you got patient 0, right? So basically you're gonna bounce it off them and just be like, hey, like, I don't know if I'd really say, hey, I got a smallpox case coming in, because they're just gonna blow you off, right?
Right, but
But you're looking at a
had
smallpox.
slide, so.
Right, a smallpox slide.
It could be anything other than smallpox
Right,
too.
it could be, like,
Right.
so you wanna kind of explain what you see, what you have, and then, the funny thing was, is if they come out and be like, oh, it sounds like you got smallpox, blah, blah, and like laughing, and be like, buddy, that's the same thing I was thinking.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
then it starts to grow little legs with it, right? So, yeah.
I probably should.
Okay, we'll wait.
Probably should.
We will wait. All right, so you got your vaccine. Here we go. Oh, the anthrax. We were just talking about that. If only Andrew could have waited just that much time. Okay. How were they trying to transport it in the early 90s?
Powder mail.
Mail, right? Powderized, right? So then what did everybody start to do?
Scan the mail.
Professional mail checkers.
Yeah, right? They're right. I got something in the mail, right? And so how often were they getting something with some sort of substance in the mail then?
Every day.
Right, because what were people doing then?
Copying it.
They were putting just random powder, random sugar in there just to mess with neighbors and friends and stuff like that. But all mail ended up going through certain channels, and so
funny.
they ended up creating sensors and stuff for these anthrax sensors. And it got to that point where it's just like, okay, people, what kind of trouble did people get in for messing with the mail?
A lot.
FBI, federal.
There we go. All right, so that's why you never mess with the mail, okay? Okay, we got like 2 minutes, let's see here. Bad spores, lesions, what are you thinking if you have a patient that presents with this on their neck? Knowing nothing about anthrax.
Trauma.
Vampire.
Vampire. Does that look anything like a vampire?
I haven't ever seen a
Infected
vampire
by
bite.
Aren't there like
Right.
two, you got your 2 spikes there?
Infected.
Right?
Looks like a cut unless.
Yeah, that's
Burn
like
cut?
Looks like a
Trauma.
Okay, all right.
Trauma.
Okay, there you go. So, okay, I'm gonna give you guys all one chance. First thing, when you look at this, what type of patient are you thinking?
Trauma.
What type of patient? Be ready, I'm coming to everybody. Let's go. Sweet. What patient?
Burn, I guess.
A burn.
Yeah.
Abscess infection.
Abscess infection. Laceration. And you can't say anything that anybody else already said.
What?
Ah, suckers! You guys are screwed over there, just so you know. You guys gotta get creative. Here we go.
Brooke's like moving up.
Stabbing. You already got a burn. Work hard at following directions. Are you having a hard time with Chad? Okay, bite.
Somebody raised a laceration.
Yep.
Cut.
Wow,
I mean, it's the same, it's not the same. Yeah, from here it looks like a laceration. Or stabbing.
that plan's going good for you, Chris.
Anthrax. Wasn't said yet. I follow the
Creative.
rules.
Creative. Good.
Infected abscess.
Said
What
it.
it said.
Oh, really?
Yes? Are we running out of ideas?
Really
Yes.
bad, really bad.
What?
It's a zit.
Ooh.
Anybody have any other ideas?
Hyper-realistic.
Trauma
fractures,
said?
they're actually respiratory distress.
This person actually has the elevation MI going on right now, no big deal. Oh,
Leech.
age?
Leech.
Ooh, there you go.
We went swimming in.
Alright, so, what do you guys
Lamprey.
think other than anthrax? Because it's an anthrax slide. What would,
Sore.
on a serious,
Trauma.
Trauma.
does that look like a recent trauma?
From here it
Well,
does.
I mean, trauma's the big generalized statement for a laceration or a stab
So I'm
or.
going with an abscess type of infection. You can see based on the kind of outer edge.
Yeah.
Got the inflammation going on around here. It's probably some sort of, I would guess, like some sort of, somebody shooting up something in the neck maybe, something like that, that would then cause the infection, the abscess.
What about like MRSA?
Yeah, that's another one. That'd be another big, oh, I should have called it.
Blake was waiting, he had it.
Gosh. Yeah, so like a bed sore except only on the neck, right? Can do all kinds of different things like that. So obviously, anthrax type of spores and lesions that are happening there. All right, 6 dose. Gosh, man, you guys are really good about. Lots and lots of vaccine. Over 8. So how often are you having to get these vaccines?
3 months.
Every 3 months.
6 doses.
18 divided by 6.
Months. We're back to simple math again.
18 divided by 6.
Every 3
It's
months.
3
3
staggered
months.
differently than that though. It's on a specific.
Have you had a anthrax? Yeah. Did they high dose you early and then stagger it out to the 2?
I don't know what
3
the
months?
actual dosages were, but it was like, it was it was 1 dose, and then a month later we got another, and then it was like another one after that, and then it was like a 3-month wait, and then like a 6-month wait. It was staggered out a specific, on a schedule that they gave.
So
us.
if you guys haven't figured it out yet, of all the people in the class, when the zombie apocalypse happens, James is the guy that's going to survive, so you want to hang out near him because he'll try and keep you alive a little bit. Okay?
I've been vaccinated against like the whole world at this point.
The whole world. All right, cool. All right, you are at 1:30. You guys are good to go. Questions?
Yes.